Okay, so this is going to be kind of just a quick video. Just more of a demonstration that just because the tube can test good on this thing doesn't mean that the tube... As you can see, the tube tests good. And that's the switch positions that this tube should be at. This tube tests good, but it is not a good tube. It was actually good. So what I'm working on a Zenith Transoceanic. I believe it's a model 600. It's a vacuum tube model. And what's going on is I'm not getting any audio output. And I tested all up until the audio output stage. I'm getting signal all up until the plate of that tube. And I'm looking at the control grid. And I see that there's some audio signal there. It's not a whole lot. I still need to troubleshoot in this area, but there is some audio there. Now what I've got hooked up right now, I just got this thing hooked up to my signal generator, and I'm just generating an audio frequency to modulate the grid. Well, I get absolutely nothing, period, out of the tube, even though I have this thing, set wide open. That's about 10 volts peak to peak, which should definitely drive an audio output tube. So let me show you. Right now I've got the thing, I've got it at the Variac is at 0 volts, and I've got a dim bulb tester that I built up, which I'll put a diagram for that in the in this video later on. So I'm just going to crank this thing up. That's just noise from this thing not being very well grounded. What you're seeing on the scope right now, it's not the audio signal. So I'm just going to crank this thing up, and you'll see that I need to adjust the voltage properly. Maybe I'll just put this on AC coupling so it'll be easier to see. Okay, so I got my scope on AC coupling so we don't have to keep readjusting that thing as I turn the voltage up. But under ideal circumstances, when I turn this thing up, you should see the signal from the signal generator coming through. So I got the scope connected up to the anode, to the plate of the tube. And as I turn this thing up, absolutely nothing. But it tests fine on the tube tester, and I know that the tube socket is making good contact. And even still, I bent the pins in place, just to make sure that they were making absolutely good contact. I've even wiggled the tubes around. I get nothing out of the tube. I have a new 3V4 coming in. I want to see if maybe I can just change out the tube and see if that clears the issue up. But anyways, so the way I've got this set up, you're forgetting powers. I got my Variac, I got the dim bulb. This is not a polarized plug, and that's part of the reason why I'm using the dim bulb here, is if I get this connected backwards, and I have something that's connected to ground, like the signal generator or the scope, if I have this connected backwards, and I were to turn the power on, this thing would light up full bright. In fact, let me go ahead and show you real quick. Okay, so I've got it connected up the wrong way around. Let me show you what happens. You see it starts to come on. I don't want to leave that on for too long. I don't want to risk damaging my equipment. Okay, so we'll pick up from there. I accidentally shut the camera off. So anyways, I got it connected the wrong way around. I'm going to connect it the right way. This way around. And then when I power it up, that bulb does not stay lit. Like I said, I'll include a diagram of how I have this thing wired up. The reason I did it like this is so I can connect any old lamp fixture that I want and just use that instead of having a light bulb off to the side. Just makes it a little bit easier for me and how I have my lab set up. I can just plug in anything with an incandescent bulb in it. There is an argument to be made for just having a screw-on bulb, but if I'm using a lamp fixture, I can just plug in a different lamp fixture. I don't have to mess around with the bulbs any. Also, on a side note, if you're working on these and you're trying to tune the radio around, you're getting you're getting audio, but you're not getting any stations. This particular model of wave magnet, I'm not sure about the other models, but this one needs both knobs on there because the knobs also connect the antenna to the screw terminal, and the screw terminals are connected to this, which then connects to the radio. And I'm not sure if this, I can't remember off the top of my head if this particular model uses a wave magnet as part of the local oscillator, but I know that some versions of this Transoceanic will do that. So it's imperative that you have this connected to the radio when you power it up to test. If you're testing the RF section, it's important that you have this connected and that this is working fine. In my case, I'm missing one, so right now I just have a little wire looped around and attached to it, and that's. It seems to me making continuity. When I check the meter, when I check continuity, it's making continuity. So I'll return to this once I get the audio section working on the Transoceanic. Okay, so here we have the diagram to the dim bulb tester that I was referencing earlier on. So of course we got the incoming power to the variac, and I have the live wired up to the bottom socket, although it doesn't matter which socket. I have it wired up to the live plug, the live pin on the bottom socket, and then on the neutral side of that socket I have that feeding the live of the topmost socket, and then the neutral goes to the neutral line on this one and then back out to the variac. And then so the idea is that if there's a short circuit here, a short circuit between, something in the circuit is shorted, or there's a short between the live and neutral here on this plug, there'll be a large current flow through the lamp socket and the lamp will turn on. And it will not only limit the current, but it will tell me that, there's something wrong with the circuit, maybe I wired up something wrong, or what have you. There's a short circuit somewhere, and that light will come on. Now, you do run the risk of, possibly lowering the voltage if you have a circuit that draws a large amount of power, and you put in a small light bulb in there, something like 30 watts, and your circuit draws 110 watts. That light bulb will limit the amount of current flowing through, so it might shine up full bright, even if there's not a short circuit. So you want to be aware of how much power your circuit draws under normal operation, and use the appropriate matched light bulb for that. But anyways, until next time, goodbye.